The pick is in.
The Dallas Cowboys have made a selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. Alongside Locked On College Football host Spencer McLaughlin, I am Tanisha Batiste, and we are joined by Landon McCool of Locked On Cowboys to break down the Cowboys selecting Tyler Guyton with the number 29 pick. So first things first, Landon, the Cowboys traded from 24 back to 29 with the Lions. Was that a good move for Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really was. I mean, the Cowboys were hoping to get a trade back offer, and I think if you had told them that they were able to get a fourth round pick, the fourth round that they had to trade for Trey Lance back, they would have been thrilled. The fact that they were able to get a third round, and not even just a third round, but a high third round pick, I think they're really thrilled to get that, and I think it was a huge part of the value that the Cowboys were able to get in the first day.
Indeed, indeed. And you look at a guy like Tyler Guyton, who only started 14 games at tackle in college, but you also look at a team in Dallas that's known for being able to eye talent on the offensive line. So what do you think they saw in him that they maybe can develop?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of saw the raw athletic ability that this kid has, and he's just one of these that a high upside was the term thrown around a lot with this kid. But he had 200 more snaps than Amarius Mims, who went a half round above him, and I think that he has the kind of athleticism. And that's not surprising for a first round offensive tackle, but I think what the Cowboys saw in him was what's between his ears, the willingness. And I think that's the big thing that, looking back at the Tyler Smith pick they had in 2021 is, a lot of people misjudged that pick because they weren't sure of exactly what Tyler Smith how hard he would work. And I think that the Cowboys are hoping for a similar sort of trajectory for a guy like Tyler Guyton.
And when you look at Tyler and you think, okay, here's the good that he brings to the table, here's kind of the upside for him. What's maybe that area of improvement, maybe that one area, Landon, where you say, okay, if the Cowboys can work on that in training camp and get Tyler ready to rock, that he'll be ready if they need be for game one?
Well, yeah, that's the rub, right? And that's why you take him at the bottom of the first round at the top. And I think the answer, unfortunately, is that it's a little bit of everything. I mean, I think he's young, he's raw in a lot of senses. I mean, like his technique just needs refinement. I think when you watch him, it's that you just are getting inconsistent technique, which is causing inconsistent play. I think cleaning up, repetition, all the things that kind of help you refine technique, that's what he really needs to work on, and just kind of sharpening the sword a little bit of his game.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see because, like we said, with the Cowboys, you get in them a team that has a good eye for seeing them. You talked about Tyler Smith and so many others that we can name that they've really been able to nurture and grow into what we now know as perennial Pro Bowlers over just a long stretch of time, well over a decade. For more on the Cowboys, subscribe to Locked On Cowboys on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, Spencer, going back to Tyler Guyton's days at Oklahoma, what did you see in him that you thought made him a guy that maybe the Cowboys would take a chance on?
Yeah, prototypical size for an NFL offensive tackle, and I think he's somebody that, still has a lot of room to grow. Not that he can't play right away. You're not drafting someone in the first round who is a complete and total project, but it feels like, you look at what John Williams of Locked On Oklahoma Sooners has said about him, it feels like he's a ways away from fully hitting his ceiling. He doesn't feel, fully refined. And I think there's a lot of upside to that. It reminds me a little bit of the old, I don't know what you call it, like not a joke, but a mind puzzle where you say to somebody like two kids run down the line, the first base. One's got terrible form, one's got great form, and they both finish at the same time. Like which one are you taking? And a lot of people say, well, I want the one with good form. No, you take the one with poor form, because with proper form, he's going to run faster than the other guy. So I think there's a little bit of a project element, but that doesn't mean he isn't ready to step in and play offensive tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, that's basically looking at the floor or the ceiling, and what do you think is the best prospect or projection for the Cowboys? For continuing coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft, subscribe to Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.